This video is brought to you by Nebula. Now, we've all heard an awful lot in the news about Reform UK. They caused a bit of a media storm in the run-up to the 2024 general election, with some polls projecting that they were going to win more than 10 seats, and others suggesting that, at times, they were out-polling the Conservatives. While they only won 5 seats in the end, this is still a remarkable result, and the media is still speculating about exactly what impact reform will have in the run-up to the 2029 general election. Despite all of this, though, it seems that another trend in British politics has gone relatively unnoticed: the left-wing pro-Gaza movement. We also saw a number of independent candidates, frustrated with Labour's stance on the Israel-Gaza war, secure election to the House of Commons in the general election. Again, like Reform UK, there were 5 of them, and there are more rumours that they could be on the precipice of forming a new political party in the new year. So in this video, we're going to have a look at these 5 independent MPs, whether they're likely to form a new party, and ultimately whether such a party would damage Starmer and the Labour government. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. It's worth starting this video by looking at the potential members of this new party, and why they might want to join it. Each of the 5 candidates beat a Labour candidate in the election. Shocker Adam dramatically unseated Labour's Shadow Paymaster General Jonathan Ashworth. Ayub Khan unseated Labour MP Khalid Mahmood. Adnan Hussain unseated Labour MP Kate Hollern, and Iqbal Mohammed unexpectedly defeated the Labour candidate in a newly created constituency. All of this is on top of Jeremy Corbyn, who, for the first time in his career as a politician, fought against a Labour candidate in his Islington North constituency, having been suspended from the Labour Party back in 2020 after stating that claims of anti-Semitism within the party had been exaggerated. Despite some polls suggesting that the Labour candidate Praful Nargund would end Corbyn's near 40-year stint as Islington North's MP, this turned out not to be the case, and Corbyn won his seat back with a majority of just over 7,000 votes. In total then, every single one of the 5 MPs rumoured to be starting a party together beat a Labour candidate in the election in traditionally Labour areas. It should come as no surprise then that they all share a left-wing ideology. Without this, they would have struggled to defeat Labour in their constituencies. However, they also all share a strong affinity with the Palestinian cause. Upon defeating Ashworth, Shocker Adam proclaimed "This is for Gaza." Corbyn has been staunchly pro-Palestine throughout his political career. Ayub Khan previously left the Liberal Democrats, claiming that they asked him to hush up his concerns over the Gaza war. Adnan Hussain stated that, if elected, he would speak out against the injustice being inflicted against the people of Gaza. And finally, Iqbal Mohammed focused his general election campaign on calling for a ceasefire and a 2-state solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Earlier this year, it was suggested by Sam Francis, writing for the BBC, that Corbyn might be on track to form a new group in Parliament with these other MPs, precisely because of their collective support for Gaza, although their left-wing ideology and collective disgruntlement with Labour likely helped. Francis quoted Shocker Adam explaining that the group was looking at options that would give us more access to the levers of power. It seems that Francis was correct, as on the 2nd of September, the Independent Alliance was formed. With all 5 of the aforementioned MPs joining, it became the joint 5th largest grouping in the House of Commons, with the same number of MPs not only as Reform UK, but also the Democratic Unionist Party. In fact, it's worth noting that they actually have more MPs in the Green Party and Plaid Cymru. However, it should be noted that it's not a political party. Rather, it's a technical group. Now, the difference between a technical group and a party is actually rather nebulous. So much so that only a couple of days ago, the House of Commons Procedure Committee launched an inquiry into the exact status of parliamentary groupings under House of Commons procedures and the status of independent MPs as a whole. Political parties, though, are kind of the backbone to how UK politics works, and to be taken seriously, the Independent Alliance needs to take the next step and become one. According to James Heal, writing for The Spectator, the pro-Gaza quintet is already looking at doing this, and are looking at filing paperwork in the new year to register a new political party. He reports that Adam, Khan and Hussain are most in favour of pushing ahead and forming the party, and that Corbyn is a tad more hesitant. Assuming, though, that Corbyn is talked around, what would this party mean for Labour and Starmer? Well, Starmer is already struggling in the polls. As we pointed out in a video earlier this week, one poll put Labour behind Reform UK for the first time. Although this poll had its flaws, it did highlight what other polls have shown quite clearly, that Starmer is becoming less likeable and less electable. While a large part of this is a result of scandals and the fallout from policy decisions such as the budget, it does show just how fragile his electoral coalition really is. It underscores the argument often made on the right of British politics that Starmer didn't win as a result of a wave of support among the electorate, but rather a wave of discontent with Tory rule. As the next few months and years drag on, there's a worry that his actions in response to the Israel-Gaza war will provoke even further anger, this time from the left. As John Oxley, writing for UnHeard, explained, almost twice as many Labour voters said they could see themselves switching to the left rather than to the right. Moreover, it's clear that those that identify with Labour tend to support Palestine far more than any other party. Polling from YouGov from April this year demonstrates that 49% of those that supported Labour have more sympathy with the Palestinian side. This is compared to 28% of the public overall. While this polling did take place prior to the election, it does demonstrate that if Starmer continues his support for the Israeli government, it's entirely plausible that he could face backlash from the left, something that Corbyn's new party would almost certainly capitalise on. Now, there are signs that Starmer may not continue his support. In October, he explained that the world will not tolerate any more excuses from Israel on Gaza, and he confirmed that the UK would arrest Netanyahu if he came to the UK, as per the ICC arrest warrant. However, the UK continues to send arms to Israel, and many within the party want to see the government go further. If Corbyn's new party holds together, there's a good chance then that they could cause problems for Starmer over the coming months and years. As you've probably noticed, the news cycle is particularly fast right now, with coups, elections and governmental gossip happening all over the world. In fact, with Trump heading into the White House, that chaos is only likely to get worse. If you're feeling a little lost and even a little depressed, then you might want to check out our series WTF USA, where we explain everything that's happened across the pond in the land of the free. Because while the election might be over, the number of WTF moments only looks likely to increase. Unlike some of our other more serious videos, the tone of WTF USA is more light-hearted and takes something of an irreverent look at what's going on. Regular viewers will be pleased to hear that the series has been extended due to overwhelmingly popular demand over on Nebula.
If these trends continue, hey!
Now, if you didn't know, Nebula is an independent creator-owned streaming platform that specialises in thoughtful content. Over there you can find creators like Wendover Productions, Real Life Law and Legal Eagle, with many of them releasing their very own original series on the platform. We're super proud of WTF USA, and we hope that with your support, we'll be able to make other interesting, weird and entertaining series with Nebula in the future. So signing up genuinely helps TLDR to grow and expand. You can also watch every normal TLDR video on Nebula ad-free, and in some instances before they land on YouTube. If you're not a member already, then click our link in the description to get 40% off. That's just $30 a year or $2.50 a month. We really hope you check out the series, and as always, thanks for your support.